Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 438. Title of today's lesson is the difference between human and humane. Okay, students sometimes get mixed up, and sometimes they ask what's the difference between these two. One of the first things you should actually notice is that, remember, with the E at the end, that is humane. Sometimes students actually see humane and still pronounce it as human, too. All right, so let's take a look at the note here. Human can be both a noun and an adjective. Humane is only used as an adjective. So that's the first thing to know. All right, let's take a look at humane as an adjective. If we say that somebody is humane, it means he or she cares about the quality of the lives of animals or people, and that we should be kind to them. We use it especially to show concern about their suffering or pain. Okay. If someone uses human as an adjective, it is often used to simply mean relating to humans. It can also be used about human feelings and behavior, but usually more in the sense to show that we have flaws. Or that we are weak, or there's something about us that has limits, or we're not perfect. So we tend to use it a little bit more that way. They did say at one time human and humane were very close in meaning, but in more recent years and more recent decades, they've gone in two different tangents. So what I've just gave you is the way that we usually think of both. So we use human and humane actually quite differently. All right, let's continue here. Both words derive from the Latin word homo, referring to a man or human being. Okay. We also use inhumane as an opposite to humane, meaning lacking pity or compassion. So really, inhumane is just the direct opposite. So humane means that we should care about people or have pity for them. Inhumane means that we lack it. All right, now the last one here, we also use, we have inhuman. I would say out of all of these, inhuman is probably used the least. But it means lacking all human qualities, not just pity. Okay, so you might have a slight bit of crossover with inhuman and inhumane, probably because years ago the two were very close in meaning. But you won't hear inhuman as much. You'll hear inhumane a lot, and you hear humane quite a bit, and of course human is very common. All right, but anyway, let's cover. We have actually 10 examples to kind of cover this idea here, or these ideas. So let's look at the first one. The design of the human body is amazing. Yeah, so this just means relating to humans. Yeah, we definitely would not use humane here. We wouldn't say the design of the humane body. No, that makes no sense at all. Let's look at number 2 here. You cannot expect him to be perfect. He is only human. All right, this is another way that like I said before, we often use human in the sense that we have flaws. We're not perfect. We have limits, as being human. Okay. All right. Number 3, I prefer human contact. I don't just want to interact with a robot. Yeah, so again, this means kind of like relating to humans. Okay. You definitely wouldn't use humane in this sense. That wouldn't make sense either. All right. Number 4, she strongly believes in humane treatment of animals. Yeah, this one's very, very common, especially if you care about how they're treated, again, that they're not suffering. So it's a perfect use of humane. Okay. She thinks we should try to build a more humane society, a society that cares about people more, worries about if they're suffering or not. Okay. Let's see, number 6 here. She became a vegan because she believes it is inhumane to kill animals. So remember, again, we're using inhumane as the opposite of humane. So she thinks that we shouldn't be killing animals to eat them. Yes, or for food, as we say here. Number 7, The treatment of the prisoners in that concentration camp was inhumane. Again, maybe they tortured them, or maybe they didn't allow them to have like enough food, or they didn't, maybe not good medical care or whatever, so that they were suffering. Okay, let's continue. Now here's one where there could be a slight bit of crossover. She had to bear inhuman and degrading treatment. Okay. You might have been able to say inhumane here too, especially if you meant that, again, they might have been mistreated or tortured or made to suffer. But we could use inhuman in the sense that it was, not like humans, not like humans at all. So inhuman. So we might still hear it this way. And number 9 here, I don't know what it was. It sounded like an inhuman cry, meaning it's a cry, but it's probably like a cry from an animal. It was a weird cry, but it didn't sound like it came from a person. Okay. And the last one here, number 10. In the Star Trek series, remember it was both a TV series and then it was made into a movie, the character Spock had an inhuman personality. Well, he wasn't supposed to be human. He was supposed to be like Vulcan or something. And remember, he couldn't understand emotion. Supposedly he had no emotion. He was just very logical. So, he couldn't fall in love or things like that. So in this sense, he had an inhuman personality, a personality not like a human at all. Okay. Anyway, I hope that these were very helpful here. I hope you got a better understanding of when we may use one or the other. Okay. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.